Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy, Nerd Mode On, and welcome to episode 7 of Battle Reports, a video series where I'm going to be going over weapons in Battlefield 4 and breaking down the statistics of the weapon to provide you guys with a better idea of how the weapon is going to perform. So without further ado, let's get started. So for today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the MG4. Now this weapon does have a 800 rounds per minute, which also makes it one of the fastest rounds per minute LMGs in the Battlefield title. Now alongside that information, you have the velocity of this weapon clocking in at 620 meters a second, making it the second fastest, highest velocity for the LMG category in Battlefield 4. Now, transferring your guys' eyes over to the damage model, you'll quickly notice that the maximum damage that this weapon can do is 25 damage up until 8 meters. However, after 8 meters, you're going to see a gradual decline of the overall damage being outputted at range, and this weapon is going to have a minimum damage of 18 damage, and that's going to finally end off at 65 meters. Now, with that said, taking a look over at the magazine size as well as the reload speeds, this will give us a better idea of how this weapon is going to perform, especially in those combat situations that require you to constantly be reloading, or in some cases to put a lot of lead down range. So let's take a look at the reload speeds to start things off, and you guys will notice that this weapon does have a short reload of 6.2 seconds as well as a long reload of 6.2 seconds, so it's in your best interest to never really do a short reload, considering that it's the exact same time as a long reload and you also have to sit through the animation. So I would highly recommend at least using a majority of your ammunition before you start clocking in a new reload, considering that you do have 200 rounds at your disposal, and that should be plenty of ammunition to hopefully kill a good amount of players as well as put down some suppressing fire for your team to actually push up and hopefully take an objective in the process. And finally, the last piece of information to kind of cover is the recoil numbers, considering that these are the most present information that you guys will run into contact with, considering that most of you guys have aspirations of hopefully downing a couple of players in the process, and you're going to be running into these statistics quite often, especially if you pull the trigger. So of course, starting things off on the horizontal side of things, you guys will notice that this weapon has a left pole of 0.2 as well as a right pole of 0.4. Now of course, taking a look at the vertical side of things, you'll notice that it also has a 0.4 on the verticality scale. So if you're interested in compensating for the recoil on this weapon, if you find that maybe it's a little too much for you to handle, especially if you're peppering the trigger, then of course all you really have to do is pull down and to the left, because that's going to center the crosshair about in the middle of the screen. It's going to make it a lot easier for you to control the recoil, especially at medium to long range, as well as hopefully drop in some players at those distances as well. But anyway guys, that's all the information when it comes down to this episode. I hope you guys found some of the information useful. Of course, if you guys would like to recommend a weapon for next week, feel free to let me know in the comments below. And until the next episode guys, this has been NMO, and I'm going to be signing out guys. Peace.